This podcast is brought to you by the School of Advanced Study, University of London. All of our podcasts are available from our website, www.sas.ac.uk.
My name is Alessandro Scafi. I lecture on medieval and Renaissance cultural history at the Warburg Institute, School of Advanced Study, University of London. Only a couple of hours ago I was in hell reading Dante, so the thing which at this moment takes my efforts is a public reading called From Devilry to Divinity, and I read Dante in Italian and then comment that in English. This is for Warburg and UCL students, and is also open to the wider public. And my research interests are very varied, I would say, but they're all grounded on a common theme: how the spiritual belief have shaped the cultural expression and the political activities. So, for example, my main interest for the last decade, I would say, is the sacred geography, and in particular mapping of the Garden of Eden. And I'm now working on, from the idea, the geographical idea of a heaven on earth, I'm now interested in the way in which, from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance and the early modern age, the perfect human condition, both in Eden and heaven, was conceived. Other interests include, of course, the history of cartography, and my talk would be about that, how this geography interacts with the religious belief in the Middle Ages and the early modern age. Well, I will look at the way in which India in the East has been represented on medieval maps. India is a land of marvels, of extremes, but then what interests me is the way in which the distant land and the another religious faith or another culture was seen within the medieval picture of geography, and within the medieval picture of geography and history. Today Christianity is one of the many religious denominations, the religion's faiths, but then in the Middle Ages the Christian revelation was considered to be the ultimate revelation, something which was not related to particular cultures. So the different streams of history, Greek, Persian, Roman, Indian, they would culminate in the revelation of Christ. This means that a medieval mappamundi, which represented both time and space, geography and history, would give you a whole picture of the global history of mankind marching towards Christ and then the second coming of Christ. And what intrigues me is how this picture was later fragmented. And you can see this very easily on maps. So my talk will end in the 14th and 15th centuries, when this comprehensive view of different faiths being englobed, being included in the final revelation of Christ, begins to be diluted in the acknowledgement that other faiths existed, Islam, Hinduism. So also this mixed with the increased knowledge of the furthest part of the East.